This time on Rad Rat Video, we talk about how to survive the winter, and I answer a lot more of your questions. Let's get started. Welcome back to Rad Rat Video, the channel where you can learn something new about skateboarding 3 times a week. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we take a look at something in the skateboarding world, from game reviews to learning about tricks, to your favorite pros, to your favorite brands, to answering your questions, which I do on this series every Wednesday. So if you missed the last week, I'm doing something a little bit different this month. I'm going to be answering a lot more questions per video because I've been getting so many through my site, radratvideo.com. And I just wanted to try to do about 5 of them per video instead of 2 or 3. So I'm going to be experimenting this whole month with that and see how it goes. So first question is from Dylan. What's the amount of skaters compared to the amount of scooter riders, bikers, etc. where you live? In England, it's about 90% scooters and 10% skaters. I would like to see what everyone else experiences below, but in my area, I live in a college town where it's mostly college kids. Sure, there's the elementary school kids, but there's tons and tons and tons of college kids. So if you ever see people out somewhere trying a trick, you see a ledge, you see where the sidewalk kind of has a bump on it, and there's kids doing tricks on it, it's always on a skateboard. I haven't seen someone do BMX tricks for years. There's lots of bike riders who are just commuting or mountain biking or something like that, but I haven't seen anyone do BMX tricks in person in a long time. I've also never seen locally scooter kids actually trying to do stuff, like trying a tail whip off of a curb or something. I haven't seen that either. I see a lot of scooterers, but they're always in the neighborhoods riding down their driveway and then going back up and riding back down, and they're 10 years old, So as far as actual at the skate park people trying to do stuff, it's always skateboarders here. But I'm sure that experience is different in other places of the world. Next question from Stefan Bell. Is a cross-footed Casper slide possible? I've never seen anyone actually doing it, but I think it's possible. Greetings from Germany. So a cross-footed Casper slide would be really, really difficult. I don't know if it is possible. The technique for doing one of these is you have your feet side by side, back foot on the nose, like on the side of the nose, front foot in the middle of the board here. Then you start to push down, switch over, and then you're in the Casper this way. And it's a nose Casper because you're going that direction because the forward momentum will help you kind of lean up onto the nose, and then you flip it back over. Not too hard of a trick, but doing it sliding, I don't know. You could wax up the ground and do that exact thing and slide an inch. I'm sure you could technically do it. But if we're talking about popping up onto a manual pad, sliding across it cross-footed and landing, I don't know. Anything's possible, but I don't see how you could get into it. Because if you had to set up like this, you could roll this way. You could try to pop to a half heel flip and then turn around and switch cross-footed Casper slide across it. I don't know. It's really hard to hold the nose up when you're cross-footed because your feet can't be that far apart. So you don't have as much leverage as you would normally. I don't know. I would love to be proven wrong, but I just don't see how you could do that. The next question. I have a question about skate brands and clothing. Do you personally think it's okay to cross-brand your outfit? Like when I wear a pair of S shoes with a Vox t-shirt and a Nike SB hat, my friends think it's weird. But I'm just trying to support the good homies. Am I weird to cross-brand my outfits? I look forward to your response, Duke. I think it's kind of weird to wear that many logos in the first place. Unless it's a Rad Rat logo, of course. But I don't know. I would think it's really weird if you were wearing all the same brand, from head to foot. You were in your S shoes, but you had an S shirt, you had an S hat, and everything. You're really repping that brand. I would just ask you why. Do you work there? Are you sponsored by them? Do you know people who work there and you're trying to support them? What is it that makes you want to go around being a billboard for one brand? So I don't know. I think it would be weirder if you didn't. But for me, I don't wear that many logos at once. If I have a logo on my shirt, I'll try to wear a plain hat or something. I don't want to look like I'm a NASCAR car walking around the streets. So I don't know. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but I don't see much of a point in spending that much time thinking about it. If your hat doesn't match your shoe brand, what else are you going to do? Are you going to buy a bunch of different hats? Are you going to stick to one brand only? How are you going to solve that problem? It doesn't seem like there's any really good way around it. Just buy what you like and wear what you like and not worry about it. The next question is from Garrett Turbot, who asks, Why are so many skateboard videos shot with a fisheye? And what exactly is a fisheye? Well, I will be happy to show you that. This is a fisheye right here, which is a extreme wide angle lens. And I'll show you what it does if I can get this cap off. So this is what it looks like. So as you can see, it widens your view a lot. You can see my walls, you can see the entire room basically with this thing on it. And the reason why people use it is for a couple of reasons. First, when you're filming a line, you can get really, really close, and that way you can see the whole skater and you can see everything that they're about to approach and stuff like that. If you're trying to film a line without a fisheye, you have to be farther away, then it looks slower, it looks less dynamic because the board isn't like flying in your face, it's just smaller on screen over here. So it looks a lot better when you're trying to film lines in particular, but one of the other reasons people use it is for gaps. So let's say you're going to do some stairs or like a grass gap or something. If you're sitting in the middle of the gap and you have the fisheye, then the gap looks really big and everything on the end gets smaller and smaller. So as the skater rolls up, he's small, he's covering this distance, and the ollies goes boom all the way across the screen, lands over here. And it makes the gap look a lot bigger too. So things look a lot more impressive for gaps, although people are starting to shoot long lens a lot more these days. But gaps will look better, lines will look better, so there's a lot of good reasons to use the fisheye. I've only had super cheap ones where the edges will start to get distorted and like the colors will mix and everything. So I don't tend to use it that much because of that, but it does look better in a lot of cases. The last question is from Johnny, who asks, what are some cool things to do during the winter? Living in Michigan like me, I'm sure you understand how impossible it is to skate from November to February. Thanks for the awesome videos. So the number one thing to do, which is what I did, is move out of Michigan. I haven't lived there for a couple of years. I live in Colorado now. And it gets cold here and it snows, but it goes away. Like right now, it's probably like 25 degrees outside. I wouldn't really want to go skate, but I could because the sun's out, blue skies, all of the pavement has been dried because of all the sun. In Michigan, it's just snowy the entire time for months and months and months on end. What I used to do is I would shovel out parts of my driveway and I would hope that it would dry before it snowed again. And so I have a lot of footage of like just a big square patch in the middle of the driveway that I would skate. And that did not work that well. It was a lot of work that usually didn't work out because it would snow like every day. So it was a lot harder to do that. But here's what I used to do. First thing is snow skating. If you haven't tried that, you should get one. I used to do it a lot back in like 2005 or so. And I used to have some footage of it. I lost all that footage, unfortunately. I had this cool thing. It was in French class. We had to do like a day in the life in French. And so I did my whole thing. And I had a section about how I go snow skating. And so I used to have this hill. It was just a really mellow hill like this, but I put a sheet of plywood on it, put a bunch of snow under it to prop it up. And so it was just a really mellow angle and then a drop. And so I would drop in and like do tricks down the gap. And so I filmed myself doing a 360 flip down it and like kick flips and heel flips and all that kind of stuff. And I had a lot of fun doing that. I also had another little setup that I made where I had the porch. We had an extra porch that we never used. So I put a sheet of plywood down it, put some snow on it. I could drop in, get some speed. And then I had a little ramp that led up to, I don't remember what I did, like some 2x4s or something that you could grind on. You drop in 5-0, drop in lip slide, and you can do all that kind of stuff. I have so much fun doing that kind of stuff. These days, you see people taking it a lot further than that. You see them go to a skate park, like a concrete skate park, and they'll just like skate like it's a regular skateboard. I never got to that level in my snow skating, but it is a lot of fun to do that. So if you haven't tried that, definitely recommend it. I got a little list here. What else could you do? You could try snowboarding, obviously. I never tried it being in Michigan. I know there's not a lot of mountains. There's like Mount Holly, which is kind of a mellow hill that you can snowboard. I never got into it because of that and because it's super expensive and I'm poor. So I never got into that too much, but obviously that's a pretty good option. The other thing is the indoor skate parks. I know there's a few of them in Michigan, especially in the Metro Detroit area, which kind of sucks because they're so expensive. It's like $17 to skate for a couple hours or something. But you got to do it a couple times just to kind of keep your tricks and try to just keep keep yourself flowing with skateboarding. It's tough to take that much off every year, get back into it in the spring and realize you can barely kickflip anymore. So I would always do that at least a couple times. Also, I would edit all that year's footage. So I would make a mini video part every year pretty much. And I would share it on, depending on what time of the year it was, or depending on what year it was, I'd put it on like MySpace or Facebook or whatever was around at the time, which was a good way to kind of keep yourself in the skateboarding world. You can watch skate videos, and you can make your own skate videos with all the stuff that you had throughout the year. That was a good way to keep skateboarding on the mind and be able to kind of experience skateboarding without being able to actually go out and do it. And the last thing was to play skateboarding games. These days, you've got a million choices. You can buy a PS2 and you'll have like 8,000 games that you can play right there. You can play the skate games, like anything you haven't done. This is kind of what I do with the channel. I find obscure skateboarding games and I play them. Have a whole playlist about it right here, obviously. But playing different skateboarding games can really kind of help ease that pain of not being able to actually go out and do it. Of course, this also applies for being injured and being out of it. You can still kind of scratch that itch of working on a trick and landing it, even if you can't actually go out and do it. So hopefully that helps. Although my first tip of leaving Michigan is probably the best one. The other ones will hopefully help get you through this year. So that's it for now. Here are some more videos you might want to check out. Bonus tip, you can also watch my channel a lot. That'll help you get in the skateboarding mindset. But you can also watch all these and make sure you tap my logo to subscribe. And that's it. Thank you for watching.